Hello, everyone. Welcome to a Green Dragons Gaming Club. Without us, they never feel like winners. Without them, they couldn't look so good. So today we have a special event. We're going to have Ryan, aka Pretty Boy, up on the boards, and he's doing his. Is this your second or third game?
This is the second game.
Second game from Quest for the Grail, which was still version 1.2, but we had such a blast down there. So again, just a little bit about our club is we're up in Westchester, Pennsylvania. You're in Philadelphia, Downingtown, all the way out to say Reading. We have a guy who comes from Bloomsburg, a guy who comes from Jersey, Delaware, Northeast Maryland. Please reach out to us. Allentown. Reach out to us. We're basically about an hour away from all those places, and we're there. We're here to have fun. It's more important for us to turn around and play with our little toy soldiers, our dolls per se, than it is to turn around and win. But at the same time, we're still very competitive. But it's more important that we all have fun. So we're going to turn around, and I'm going to say, Ryan, take it away. And by the way, this is 5,000 points, Monster Mash typically. And Ryan, take it away.
All right. Hey, guys. Sorry, it's been a little while. Christmas, New Year's, that sort of thing. But this is game 2 at Grail Thrones down in Durham, North Carolina. And I'm playing Demons in round 2. Now, for those of you who didn't get a chance to watch the first video, I kind of talk about what the tournament's about. It's more of a Monster Mash list tournament. You could take a monster from another army. And I'll go over they have crazy scenarios based off of Game of Thrones, so I'll go over those with each game. First game I played Once Bitten, actually, and I did lose, but it was a very fun game, very close game, and I was happy to walk away with a decent amount of points from that game to go into round 2. And I'm playing Todd Wyatt, who has a Pestilent Demon army. It's really nice. I love the way his models are painted. I do apologize in advance if I forget anything. It has been a few weeks, but I think I remember most of what he had.
Over a month.
A few weeks, you know. So on the left, he's got his toads, I like to call them. They're beasts of pestilence. He has 6 of them. The models in the back behind his big guy are supposed to be Furies of Pestilence. He just forgot the actual models at home, so he's proxying them for now. And then he has his big guy, the Greater Demon of Pestilence. He is a wizard going out of divination, and he has the Book of Arcane Power. He's a wizard master, so he's got +3 to cast and dispel. And he also has another nifty item that gives himself -1 to hit in close combat, which is really nice. Then in the middle, he's got a unit of about 30 Tallymen, and they have the banner that gives them the extra poison, so they poison on 5-ups. By the way, almost everything in his army poisons on 5-ups. Everything in his army has poison, but a lot of it also poisons on 5-ups, so very anti-monster. Then he's got a big unit of Plague Flies. In there he has his Battle Standard Bearer. He's the guy all the way on the right. And that's mostly what he has. He also has a couple of scouting, what used to be called Nurglings. They're the swarms. And then this is deployment. So on my side, on the right, I've got a unit of Dark Raiders, crossbows, shields. I have a Raptor Chariot. My monstrous exception was a Gargantula Spider. In the back there, I have a unit of Repeater Auxiliaries with my General, Spellcaster out of Cosmology, Wizard Master, Dispel Scroll, has 4 spells. Then I got a unit of 30 Dread Legionnaires with Spears, full command, and the War Standard. And in there is my Divine Altar with my BSB mounted on top of it. She is Cult of Nob, Executioner's Blade. I got a Bolt Thrower. I have my Horde of Executioners with a Musician and the Stalker Standard. Another Bolt Thrower, my Hydra. A unit of Dread Knights, just naked, and then on the left another unit of Dark Raiders. Now, we have diagonal deployment, and then in this scenario, those red, they're supposed to be like pots of fire in the middle. Basically, if you pick those up, the unit picking them up will take D6 Strength 4 hits at the beginning of every turn, but at the end of the game, if you can get them into your enemy's deployment zone, you get an extra 200 victory points per token that you pick up. Or at the end of the game, you can drop them, and it does like D6 strength 5 hits and a 12-inch bubble to everything nearby. So it was an interesting scenario. Just another picture of deployment. Same thing, same thing. This is actually Vanguards. I don't know why I bothered putting these guys on the hill like this. I was just for some reason I just wanted them to shoot right away, and so I just put them up there. He got turn 1. He basically just moves everything forward. Oh, and I forgot to show, he scattered these guys back here. And this is what I mean. I don't know why I put my Dark Raiders up on the hill. I was so concerned about them getting to shoot first turn. I should have just put 1 unit back there to block him from doing that. So that was silly. Oh, go back a pick. Alright, so turn 1, he gets a pretty decent magic phase, and he wants to put a buff on his Beasts of Pestilence, and I really wanted to stop it because I decided that I just wanted to fight combat right away. I don't know why. I just was feeling very aggressive. I've had a few beers at this point. People kept buying me beers. So I'd like to blame it on that. And so I used the Dispel Scroll turn 1, which I hate doing, and I really shouldn't have done it. There was no need to. I should have just let it go, sat back another turn, shot, repositioned. But no, that's what my brain did. And this is what happened. So his turn 1 ends. He doesn't have any shooting. I shut down the magic phase so I could do this. I all-out charge with everything into his 2 main units. So my Altar, my Spears go into the Tallyman, my Executioners, and the Hydra go into the Beast of Pestilence. And I like that matchup because Executioners will blend just about anything, but they also have Lethal Strike, so a lot of their attacks will counteract the regen, and then the Hydra has a breath weapon. I'm thinking I could take almost all of them out. And the Spears should win in the grind with the Tallyman. It's then just trying to take care of the general in the middle there. The one nice thing is that the Executioners are so wide, the general can't go into the flank of my Spearman. He has to hit the Executioners in the front, and I'm okay with that. I move the Dark Raiders around back, move the Knights up, just to clean up. Yeah, and then speaking of drinking beer, I move Dark Raiders up here for what reason I don't know. They fly, so this does absolutely nothing. I'm not chaffing them up, they can simply fly over them. And I kind of realized this late. I kept the Spider and the Raptor Chariot back, so they're not in close charge range, and if he decides to take out the chaff, they can countercharge. In Magic, I couldn't get off anything that I really wanted to, but I was able to give +1 leadership to the Executioners, just in case. And that's about it. We go into combat. The Spears take out a good chunk of those Tallymen. I don't take too many losses in return. And then over here, Executioners did well. The Hydra completely whiffed, breath weapon and everything. I think the Hydra did 1 wound, but the Executioners took out 2 of those guys. Mind you, they have 4 wounds each, and then there's 1 wound left on the remaining guy in the back. So, not too shabby. And then this happens. So he comes in with the Plague Flies. He had moved during his movement phase 4 wide in the front. So he doesn't have 2 ranks anymore. He only has 1 rank. So I'm thinking this is really not a big deal. I'll be steadfast. I'll countercharge with the Chariot and the Gargantula, and that should spell the end of that unit. He flies that unit of Furies over. He doesn't really know what to do with them. And then the little Nurglings, those little spawns, just move up to get closer to my bolt throwers. In Magic, remember turn 1 when I used my Dispel Scroll? This would have been a better turn to use it, because I think he got a 12 dice Magic phase, and I just couldn't stop anything. He was just getting everything off. He got Stars Align on the Plague Flies, which is really, really bad. And he also got scrying in a bubble from his general on all 3 units there, and then gave the attribute to one of those spells, which gives them cold-blooded on leadership. And of course, his general charges into the executioners. So, at the end of combat, he wipes out nearly all the spearmen. I think the champion lived and then died running away. But in good news, my BSB on the altar gets away when he tries to chase her down and pops through all of his units, so she should be safe. And then the other combat, with the executioners, I actually do 3 wounds to his general, which was pretty surprising. I don't think Todd had expected that. And then I killed another 1 or 2 Beasts of Pestilence, and we just stick there. So on my turn, it's time to countercharge. I charge both the Gargantula and the Raptor Chariot into the flies. Only the Gargantula gets in, which is not great. I really need those impact hits to help with combat res and pop some of those guys. And then my Dark Raiders that snuck around the back charge into the rear of his general just to get combat res. Because if he doesn't kill all of them, that's a charge and a rear. That's an extra 3 to try to help pop that guy. And then my caster, not knowing what will happen with the spider, moves out of the unit repeater auxiliaries. Oh, and then my BSB fails to rally, continues to run to the very edge, not quite off yet, but still not a good place to be. In Magic, though, I give my spider a 5-up ward save. That should help a lot. He's toughness 6 with 8 wounds, now a 5-up ward save. He should be able to weather the storm, hopefully. And because my caster moved out of the unit, she's close enough to give her leadership 9. And then I got +1 leadership off on executioners again. Alright, then we get into combat. My shooting basically did nothing all game. His general decides to attack the horses in the back and kills 3 of them. And then I can't quite kill all the toads, but he's down to the last one. And then I actually won combat, and I've done now 6 total wounds between combat and res to his general. I thought he was dead. I was mistaken, though. These guys, the Greater Demons of Pestilence, apparently have 7 wounds, so he's still alive, and I'm 1 wound away from just getting a ton of points. I've already got half, but I need those points. Over with the spider whiffs completely. He does a couple wounds to me. I'm stubborn. We're going to stay. Then, on his turn, he did something that I really didn't expect. He charged the flank of the spider with the Tallyman. I wouldn't have done that only because now the spider has an easier target to pick on and can Thunderstomp now, and that's going to generate a lot of combat res for me. I do understand his point of view, though. He did a few wounds to me, and he's thinking with all these poison attacks, he might be able to just kill me. However, I still have a 4-up armor save, and I have a 5-up ward save, so yeah, we'll see what happens. And then he double charges the bolt throwers, nothing I can do about that. And then his Furies, still not knowing what to do, just kind of sit there. Oh, another just great magic phase. I can't seem to stop anything. He just gets off scrying in a bubble again, giving himself attributes. Just really bad. So we go into combat. My spider decides to come out and party and does the Venom Surge attack on his BSB, kills his BSB instantly, just stings him. That was awesome. And then continues the rampage, just eating up those Tallymen, stepping on them. They lost a good chunk of their unit there. And lost a few more to res, I believe. And he just can't kill my spider. He was rolling below average, and then on top of it, I made a couple ward saves. So that's that. Over here. So what ends up happening is, with all the spells up, I'm hitting him on 5s or 6s, and I just can't I just can't get enough hits. Might have gotten one hit through and then failed to wound, and he's fine. And he ends up killing off the rest of the executioners. I only do another wound to the toad, so those units are going to break. So what happens is, his toad decides to chase my Hydra. The Hydra gets away, which is nice. The general chases the last Dark Raider remaining, or the last two, which is bad. Not only because he catches them, I don't care that much about that, but because now he's so far away from my other units that need to finish him off. He's all the way over there. Frustrating. Back to my turn. Yeah, my BSB fails to rally and runs off the table. And I do this. So the Raptor Chariot finally decides to come in. Couldn't have been at a better time. My general moves around the wall to stay in range with her leadership, but to keep herself away from the Nurglings that on the bottom that killed the bolt thrower. The other ones are still locked in combat. The repeater auxiliaries just move a little bit to shoot at them. And then my Dread Knights charge the last remaining Beast of Pestilence to get those points, which is nice. And then hopefully go after the general. And then, in a game of many mistakes, I make another one. I decide to charge the Dark Raiders into the flank up top into the general. What I should have done is just tried to shoot at him. It's a low chance that I'm going to wound him. I need a 6, but hey, he's only got 5 up ward save. He might have 4 up regen, I'm not sure, but he might fail one of them, and I just need to do 1 wound to kill him. At the time, I thought if I charged in the flank, it's charge flank, maybe he whiffs, and I could win on combat res, or just get lucky enough and sneak through a wound, especially rerolling 1s to wound. So, we'll see what happens. In Magic, I didn't really have a lot of good options. I just decided to do the Hex version of Truth of Time on these guys to lower their movement in case something goes wrong. And then in combat, the Knights do me proud. They kill the last Beast of Pestilence. They only lose 1, and they overrun to get closer to his general. I'm hoping those Dark Raiders can hold them up, and then I'll be able to charge in and finish him off, and that'll be a ton of points. And they do. He only kills 2 of them, but charge flank, I didn't do any wounds, obviously. We tie, he turns around. But that's alright, because he probably should kill them all next turn, hopefully, and then I'll charge in and I'll kill him then the following turn.
I'm with you now. Go ahead.
Over here, we're still stuck in this combat, for whatever reason. My crew actually have done a couple wounds back. And then over here, the spider basically eats the rest of the tallyman. The Raptor Chariot coming in helps to kill a couple of the flies. But he does manage to do the last one to the spider and kill him. So that was unfortunate. But hey, spider got back its points big time. That was huge. And then because the Raptor Chariot's out of combat, we're just kind of stuck like this. He still has 2 Plague Flies left, so I'm not getting half points at this moment, but still got him down. And then on his turn, he decides to charge back into the Raptor Chariot. That's probably going to go his way. My Repeater Auxiliaries managed to kill 1 of the bases in shooting. The other base charges in. I think I'll be fine there. Oh, and remember those Furies that really didn't know what to do? Well, now here was their chance to actually do something. He makes a long bomb charge into the rear of my Knights. Now, I'm not going to lose the Knights. The Knights are going to win that fight. The problem is that because he's charging me in the rear, I'm not going to kill all of them likely. And he's going to have enough static res that he's going to hold me up, I think. And that's going to prevent me from killing off his general. And you can see he got more magic off, so that was really unfortunate. He finally kills the bolt thrower. Over here, my chariot, just tough as nails, only takes a wound and holds up those guys, but can't really do much back. Over here, my knights kill a couple of them. They hold and they turn around to kill them off next turn. And yeah, I did not get lucky and sneak a wound through, and he kills the rest of my Dark Raiders. Turns like that. And this is my turn. There's really not much left to do. I give the Knights +1 strength to make sure I kill those guys. And they do. And they turn around. And the problem now is that I'm close enough that he can march out of my arc. I'm one knight too short. To my left, he can't march out, but to my right, he can. And there was really no good way to angle them. No matter what I did, he was going to be able to march out. Over here, I lose a couple guys, but the repeater auxiliaries do kill the swarm. And he eventually kills the chariot, and he's going to try to face off and pick off my general. And then this is basically what happens at the end of the game. This is the last picture. He charges my general with the flies. I flee. And then he marches his general out of the front arc of the knights. So there's nothing I could do there. The knights can't clean him up. The other swarms just kind of chill in the woods. And then on my last turn, my general rallies. So she keeps her full points. That's great. The Dread Knights go and pick up one of the fire pots and then just march into the corner of his deployment zone. So they'll get an extra 200 victory points at the end, which is awesome. And then my last ditch hope was with my repeater auxiliaries. I moved them up just in range of his general to see if I could shoot him and pick him off at the end. Wasn't able to do it, so unfortunately couldn't get that one last wound through. I only get half points for him. So end of the game ended up being a draw, which is fortunate for me because I really did not play well. And this is no, don't get me wrong, this is no criticism of Todd Wyatt. Todd's a good player. He had an excellent army. I really liked his army, and he played it well. At the same time, though, I think if I played my normal game, I think I could have had a win on this. I had the tools. I played poorly, but was still able to get a draw out of it. He ended up winning on points, like 11-9, and then I picked up a couple extra victory points at the end, or a couple extra battle points at the end for extra objectives, and he might have picked up one. MVP for this game, actually I'm going to go with the Dread Knights because they cleaned up that unit of Beasts of Pestilence, which was huge. That was a lot of points to get all those points. They killed the Furies, and then they were my best bet to kill off his general on the charge. Weren't able to do it, but we're in the best position to. And then they went and picked up an extra 200 points at the end with the fire pots and going into his deployment zone. So that was a nice performance by them, and they're a pretty cheap unit. Other thoughts? Right now I was in the middle of the pack. Now I'm a little bit lower in the middle of the pack. There's 3 games left. There's still a lot that can happen, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see if I can work my way back up again. Well, until next time, guys. Peace.